Monday, Monday everywhere, but not a drop to drink. Nothing but the sound of vomiting from a nearby sink. It's not coming through the air, it's coming through the pipes. And that's the downside of having an interconnected world where everything's piped up together and we've got pipes connecting the kitchen sink to the toilet next door and the toilet next door to the fast food outlet washing up liquid machine 3 miles away and connecting that to the sewer pipe 8 miles up the road and connecting that to the, I don't know, it's all about pipes. If you don't understand it, download one of those iPhone games that's got pipes in them that you connect. There's always one around where you can get a thing. You basically connect up pipes, and they say connect the pipes. It's a highly addictive game. It's just like drugs, except we're allowed to sell these as long as Apple says we can. We're allowed to sell highly addictive games. We're allowed to hand them out like sweets to telephone users. Back in my day, the only game you could play on the telephone was sticking your fingers into the rotary dial 7 and seeing how far down past the metal thing you could get without getting your finger scraped off. As it happens, I don't think I ever got my finger scraped off by the rotary telephone, possibly because I wasn't very adventurous, also possibly because I wasn't a mental defective and I was capable of playing with a rotary dial telephone without breaking my finger off. It's not that complicated really when you think about it. In fact, it's probably easier when you don't think about it. Some things you can do by rote. You don't have to think about them too much. This, for example, we're already 2 minutes and 4 seconds into the show. Earlier on, I was trying to start this show and I was thinking too much about it and I couldn't get started. It all falls into place when I stop thinking. That's what I find. Thinking everywhere, but not a drop to sink into the what we call the globular world of ones. Imagine the world as a big cloud of ones and zeros, and I'm trying to drop something into it right now. But in order to do that, you have to stop thinking, because you have to be part of the cloud. You have to be like Captain Picard on that Star Trek episode where the Borg integrated him and assimilated him into their evil one world, one computer, no individualism system. I suppose you probably have to see it to understand. So go off with you now and watch the Star Trek The Next Generation episodes in which Captain Picard gets assimilated into the Borg, and I'll sit here patiently waiting for you. Off you go now. Off you go. Have you done that? Yeah, I assume you have. I'll assume that at some point you're not living on a frigging mushroom in the middle of the moon nowhere, and that you've somehow managed to watch an episode or two of Star Trek The Next Generation or heard about what it is. I'm moving on to something else now, so it doesn't really matter. Suffice to say, hello and welcome to the show.
Oh, wait a minute, it's going into you. It looks like it's going into your head. I think it's going into your head. Oh, it's definitely going into your head.
Now, I know what you're thinking there. You're thinking, You're thinking, You're thinking, oh, Christ, not this again, not this crap again. He's done it multiple times. Any number of times is multiple unless it's one, in which case I wouldn't be saying it. I wouldn't be saying he's already done this one time in total. I don't know. If I'd only done this one time in total, then this would be the first time. The most that he would notice about it might be realistic feeling, but nonetheless invalid sense of deja vu, because I've never done this before. But in this case, no, I've done this before. I've done the, now I know what you're thinking there. You're thinking, oh, you're thinking, oh, you're thinking, oh, you're thinking, oh, Christ, not this again. That's what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, I bet you what's happening there is that it's already the weekend, and he's nearly caught up with himself. He hasn't done Monday's show yet, and he's panicking now. It's probably 2:10 on a Saturday afternoon, and he needs to get this done this afternoon. Otherwise, he's going to fall behind. And there's no bank holiday Monday until the first week in August or thereabouts, so he can't just skip this Monday just because hasn't got it done yet. So he's panicking. He's done the usual thing. He's got going. He hasn't even given the caffeine the 10 minutes. He should have invested 10 minutes into letting the caffeine digest, and that would improve the quality, and you'd still get this done just as quickly. But no, he never learns a fucking thing. Too busy rambling, too busy reading my thoughts or pretending to read them repeatedly. Repeatedly. I wonder, can I do repeatedly? That's how something reads to be. No, I'm trying to do this thing where you make up a poem as you go along. It'll be a lot more efficient, I can tell you. I've been trying to write poetry for many years. I've written a number of nonsense poems, but they always seem to take time. I'd like to be able to just make one up on the fly. I'd like to go, pizza down the toilet. Pizza covered in violet. Something, flush me down the toilet, except with proper words and a structure and a meaning, or a perceived meaning, or at least some theme or other, or some purpose in the narrative, not just words plucked out of the middle of nowhere and rammed together like a couple of fucking sheep that you find up the Wicklow Mountains, and you ram them together into whatever. I don't know. Do people go up the Wicklow Mountains and pick up sheep and just ram them together for no reason? I doubt that very much. I'm not completely opposed to the idea of picking up animals off the street. Muddy the cat came to us by appearing out of a ditch on the Kilkenny Road in the middle of nowhere many years ago. But no, I don't think you should just pick up sheep. If there's two of them there, they're obviously part of a herd. You don't just bring them home and adopt them without doing any checks. No. Yeah, but the best thing to do in that situation would be to make some inquiries. Go, for example, to the local Department of Agriculture veterinary office and say, there seems to be some sheep here that seem to be on the loose, out of control. I assume they belong to someone. Maybe you can have a look at their tag number, because these animals, they tag them. I used to be involved in the tagging of animals, or the recording of the tagging numbers of animals for some reason anyway. It's a whole top secret government business. I can't go into it. Suffice to say, all of these farm animals have numbers clipped to their ear. They clip a number to their ear, and the number is up on anyone who knows how to read a number on that's printed on a tag can basically find out the number on the farm animal. The national herd registration number, or whatever they call it. It might be, for example, 61742, or it might be WX79. I can't remember whether they had letters in them or just numbers or just letters, because I used to work in the shipping industry as well, and they had container numbers. They'd be, for example, YMCU 6179. Those ones definitely had letters in them. They'd had at least 4 letters, and then they'd have some digits. I remember the shipping numbers all right. But that that was less automated. I used to write those into a big notepad. So it has plenty of experience of actually writing down the numbers. In the case of the herd numbers, in the other place, so they'd be more using keys on the keyboard to enter them in or read them or wherever I did. Or maybe not. Am I talking crap? I don't know. Am I talking crap? Talking crap and other strange side effects, such as, for example, enunciating urine. Is that a thing? Enunciating urine. It is now, I suppose. Let's put that into the title of the show. Show 604, Enunciating Urine. Does that sound vulgar? Probably does. It doesn't matter what it sounds like, though, because it's a written title. It'll never be said out loud again, except by the listener's playback machine when it plays me. It reproduces my voice saying, enunciating urine, as it did just now, presumably on your machine. Enunciating I should probably say it very clearly. Enunciating urine, or urine, as some people might say. Or Uranus, as some smart arse might. Enunciating Uranus. If I was a 15-year-old here, I'd probably call this something like enunciating Uranus or something, just to be vulgar. But no, I'm going to have a bit of self-control. In fact, I'm going to take out the word urine altogether. I don't like the look of it there. We'll finish the title creation at some point during the show. It'll be enunciating something anyway. Enunciating something that I've mentioned vaguely. Enunciating deja vu, maybe. Deja vu. Will that fit in? I'll have to put in all these fancy squiggly things under the E. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Am I writing this in French or in English? And if I'm writing deja vu in English, do I write deja vu or do I write already seen? Do I translate it? Or do I just say deja vu and then I put the word psych in brackets, S-I-C, psych. I never realised that psych was pronounced psych rather than sick until I looked up the lyrics of a Billy Joel song. He goes, all my life is Channel 13. Something, what does it mean? Psych 1, Psych 2, I read it too. What does it mean? I'll tell you what it means. Pressure. Pressure by Billy Joel. He said psych. I never associated though with the word that I saw written down in some books many times in my childhood. S-I-C, often brackets, in italics or brackets. I never associated with it with the pronunciation psych though. I just saw sick. So why are these people putting sick in there? Is it some sort of a smart arse thing? Some smart arse quoting some fella and saying, oh, isn't this sick? Actually, now that I say that, let's change. Let's call it enunciating psych. Or enunciating... that's really enunciating, open brackets, SIC, close brackets, vomit. That's what we'll call today's show. Show 604, enunciating brackets, psych, close brackets, vomit. I still think vomit is a little bit vulgar, but we'll work on this further throughout the show, maybe. I've got the word Monday in brackets after that too, but that's only for my reference. I'll be deleting that after I've uploaded this. That's only a guideline for me, so I know what day this is in my program here, so don't be worrying too much about that. Not that you are. Hope you're not, anyway. If you are, I can tell you, you've got fucking problems. You've got problems, more problems than you can shake a stick at. Even if you had so few problems that you could shake a stick at them, they'd need to be the type of problems that can be cured by shaking a stick at. What problems can be cured by shaking a stick at, I wonder? I don't know. Is there any problem on earth that you can shake a stick at and it'll just go away? Or maybe you don't want it to go away. You just want to shake the stick at it so that you can feel like you've done something something about it, or you've acknowledged its presence for the purpose of meditation, or whatever way you deal. How you deal with problems is your own business, and it's not for me to lecture you on what ways you can and cannot deal with it. For example, if I had an unstirred coffee here, I could shake this very long spoon at it and say, oh, this is a stick. I'm going to, in fact, the stirrer that you get in the coffee shop, that's pretty much a stick. Although I would maintain it's more of a miniature plank than a stick. A stick is more round. A stirrer is usually flat, like a lollipop stick. So that's more of a little plank than a stick, I would maintain. Although in the end, does it really matter? It probably doesn't. Nothing really matters, as the Queen song says. Nothing really matters to me. Any way the wind blows. Just because nothing matters to you doesn't mean I can just stop speaking and just leave the rest of this show blank. Just because these things don't matter, just because nothing matters to any of us, I can't just be putting out a frigging blank. Because I tell you, if I put out a blank podcast here, then I can tell you suddenly you change your tune. You'd say, you know, the way we keep saying nothing really matters to me, well, in this case, this matters to me. You smart hearts, you put out a blank MP3 file. I nearly did that by accident last week. I've noticed that the last 13 minutes or so of one of last week's episodes was completely blank. But I managed to rectify the situation in the nick of time, or maybe about 12 hours before it was due out, which I suppose isn't that close. And it's not as if anyone would have died if it had been late. It just would have been a little annoyance and an irritation to you, the home listener, and to me, the home. How can you be a home listener and me be a home producer at the same time? You can't both be at home, or can we? I suppose that's called peer-to-peer broadcasting. We're both at home. One of us is in my home here in the middle of Ireland. I say the middle of Ireland. It's more over towards the east. It's about 50 miles inland from the east coast. But I like to think of it as the middle, because I've spent much of my life living on the coast, and this is the first time in my adult life that I have lived inland, so I think of it as being in the middle. Well, it's not in the middle at all. It's only 50 miles from the right-hand side of the country, and a couple of 100 miles from the left-hand side of the country. Anyway, as I was saying, peer-to-peer broadcasting. I'm broadcasting from my home, and you're listening from your home. Or maybe you're not. Maybe you're on the go somewhere. In which case, that makes this metaphor redundant, absolutely redundant and pointless. Fuck you anyway, with your overanalyzing everything. You probably say, oh, is that overanalyzing? Has that got a hyphen in the middle, or has it got an underscore, or has it got nothing, or has it just a gap, or no gap, no acknowledgement at all that it's made up of two words? I don't know. You're overanalyzing with no hyphen. Anyway, on with the show.
Lockjaw, the podcast junkie here, and you are listening to Into Your Head, all the way from Ireland.
Do you need to buy new glasses? Do you want to help your favorite podcast but can't afford to? Well, now you can do both. Goggles 4U is the online destination for prescription eyeglasses and sunglasses of all varieties. Save while shopping for single vision, bifocals, progressives, and photochromic lenses, whatever they are. Use their virtual try-on feature to try over 3,000 frames online, including designer frames. The 360-degree viewer will help you in making the right selection of frame every time, because let's face it, you're pretty vain, aren't you? Goggles 4U offers worldwide shipping and 24/7 customer service. And the best thing? When you shop at Goggles 4U using Neil's big green blurry advert at intoyourhead.com/offers, Into Your Head get a generous commission, and it doesn't cost you a penny extra. So next time you need glasses, visit intoyourhead.com/offers. Click on the big green blurry Goggles 4U ad and start shopping.
Two cats walk into a bar. One of the cats straight away goes all the way up to the bar. It's quite a long way in this case. The bar we're talking about is, it used to be called the Burnaby, but it's probably called something else now because it's gone upmarket. It used to be a bit of a shithole, quite frankly, when I used to drink there. It was called something else now, and the last time I was in there, they'd rearranged it so the bar was a big square thing in the middle, like the middle of a freaking Rubik's Cube. There was a big square thing in the middle that went all the way around, so you go in the door and the bar could be both near and far at the same time. The near corner would be near the front, and the rear corner would be near the back, and there'd be another rear corner as well, and another front corner as well. And that's, of course, you come from the point of view that the main thoroughfare frontage of that bar that faces out onto the street is not the front but the back or the side, which would be ridiculous in this case since it's not really on any major corner. It's not like it takes up a whole block, although now that I think about it, there is a laneway beside it, so it is on a corner in that sense. But still, no, I think it's pretty obvious in this particular bar that the front of the building is the side that faces out onto the main street of Greystones. Anyway, two cats walked into this bar. This is all fictional, of course, although it could have happened, because it's that sort of a bar now. It's very upmarket, has grown up drinking. There's no more students standing around watching rugby with their pints of Heineken. No, it's all middle-aged people sitting down. Everyone gets a seat now in the Burnaby, I've noticed, since they went up market. They're going, everyone gets to sit down. You don't have to jam yourself into the middle of the floor and you have people elbowing their way past you on the way to the jacks. Although the cats might have thought differently about this. These cats who went into this bar, it's a real bar, but there's a fictional story. Well, it's a real story. Will be once I finish creating it. It's just the content is based on fiction, or is fiction. In fact, it's not just based on fiction. It is fiction. It's real. Let's stand up and have the courage of our convictions and state that this is fiction. It's not just based on fiction. It is fiction. Not to say that you can't have fiction based on fiction. I've been watching the entire box set of Lost, the TV series, recently. I think it's fair to say that that's based on fiction. It's based on previous stories of people trapped on desert islands. Yes, I did say desert. I didn't say desert. It's not a desert island. It's a desert island, as in deserted. And as we all know from that TV show, it's not as deserted as it first seems. But on the other things like the likes of Robinson Crusoe and the Swiss Family Robinson, which is influenced by Robinson Crusoe, those are traditional tales of people stuck on a desert island. Except you always say desert because you think it's desert. It's not desert. There's no such thing as a desert island. The desert doesn't even have fucking water in it. As far as the traditional desert anyway has no water in it. Just a mirage of water. So if you're on an island that's in the middle of it's a desert, then it's likely that island is a mirage. So it doesn't exist at all. But no, these are desert islands, not desert islands, desert. Now, you're thinking, I know what you're thinking there. You're thinking, Christ, he's having a freaking trifle Sunday ice cream dessert in the middle of a story. No, you can have two things that sound the same but are completely different. You can have a dessert after your meal, as the sweet part of your post-meal treat item, and you can also have a thing that's called a dessert, but it's something completely different. In fact, now that you mention it, these desert islands probably have strawberries and things growing on them, so it's not too far away from the truth. If you can have strawberries in the desert, and you can have strawberries growing on a desert island, until of course someone turns up there and gets lost lost and eats all the strawberries, and then they probably have to plant some more, or plant cabbages, or plant what? How do you plant a? Here's a question for you. How does that woman on Lost plant a vegetable garden? Did she bring fucking seeds with her, or did she get them from something that was already growing there? In which case, what's the fucking point of having a garden if the stuff's already growing there? You don't just get seeds out of nowhere, you know. She'll learn that, I can tell you, when she goes back and comes back to life in the last episode and all the rest of it. You know what? Well, you probably do know. You probably don't know what happens. I don't know. I don't want to be. Spoiler alert! This program series that ended 2 years ago is over now, and if you listen to anything on the internet, you're likely to hear spoilers. Anyway, this isn't about Lost or the Swiss Family Robinson or Robinson Crusoe. No, this is about two cats who walked into a bar. Except it's not really. That was just a way to get going on the segment, as usual. We couldn't care less about the two cats walking into that real bar, but in an imaginary fictional situation. They were just two. I was just using them, or using their. They don't exist. It's not as if I was abusing them. You can't abuse a cat that doesn't exist, no more than you can abuse two cats who don't exist, especially if they're walking into a bar, which is probably an over 21s at this stage. Used to be an over 18s, but I wouldn't be surprised now if it's gone over 21s only, like one of your American bars, except we allow 18-year-olds to drink in our country because we trust our young people with alcohol. We say, come in here and have a few cans of Carlsberg, or I suppose if you're in a pub you get it on draft. It's nicer. It's not too bad in cans either, though. I had a few cans of Carlsberg last night. It was absolutely fucking fantastic, although I spilt some. I've just remembered on this t-shirt and I haven't changed it yet, but I'm not going out today, so it's not really a problem. It's not a problem for me, and if it's not a problem for me, you can be damn sure to Christ as hell as hell as Christ as Christ as hell as hell as hell as Christ as Christ to hell as Christ to Christ as hell. It's not going to be a problem for you either, unless you're an unreasonable person, in which case I can't. In a court of law, when you're making a legal judgment, you decide usually what would be the view of a reasonable person of this situation, and if you're being an unreasonable person, I can't make a judgment about that. I have to take it from the point of view of a reasonable person. Not that this is a court of law. This is a court of common sense and speech and freedom of choice, democracy, Wrangler jeans. Tesco value jeans. In fact, I got 2 pairs of Tesco value jeans yesterday. €6 each. Absolutely fucking fantastic. Anyway, good morning.
Do you ever shop at Amazon.com or Amazon UK? Get there through Neil's special Amazon links, and Into Your Head gets a generous cut. Every time. Just visit intoyourhead.com/offers every time you're about to buy anything on Amazon and follow the special Amazon links to start shopping.
Sit, Annie, sit. Good cat.